Hey folks, Michael Mann with Michael Mann Security Services, and welcome to the Security Management Minute. And we're going to talk about use of force guidelines for security officers. All right, and this will be a little bit longer than a minute, but we want to go into more detail about what we talked about use of force on our video. Hey, if you want to get a hold of us, you can get us at contact@michaelmannsecurityservice.com, or you can always call me directly at 615-956-3912. All right, let's talk about use of force for security officers. Let's talk about some guidelines here. So, as a security officer in the state of Tennessee, or as a private citizen, basically, you have two categories of force, and that is deadly force and then non-deadly force. Deadly force meaning any force likely to or intended to cause death or serious bodily harm. Non-deadly force, of course, being any force not likely to or intended to cause death, serious bodily harm. As a private citizen security officer, whether you're proprietary or whether it's contract folks, the most likely use of force that is going to be used is that non-deadly force. Now, basically, and not only in the state of Tennessee here, but in the majority of states, your authority as a private citizen or as a security officer to use force comes as a private citizen. And most states, to include Tennessee, where I'm located, the state allows citizens or security officers to protect themselves and others from harm. So not only can we protect ourselves, so the circumstances to use this force is self-defense, but also in defense of other persons. Okay, so we're allowed to use force in defense of ourselves or other persons, very specifically in the state of Tennessee. Other states throughout the country do the same thing. Now, whatever force we use or the security officer uses, they must be able to prove that that force was reasonable or it was the minimal amount of force necessary to overcome that opposing force. Doesn't mean it has to be 50-50, just means it has to be reasonable. This is why it's important whether you're using a proprietary guard force, that means you guys are hiring them within your organization, or you're using a contract security force, make sure that they have a use of force policy, that they have been trained in that use of force policy, and that they understand that use of force policy. That's very important. And then so another guideline here to think about is a use of force continuum. If I'm reviewing use of force policies for those proprietary contract services, I want to make sure that they do have a use of force model or continuum, and that is usually provided by the employer, whether that's proprietary or whether it is a contract security force. And that continuum model is just going to let that security officer know, what level of force or type of force could be considered reasonable depending on the circumstances or the level of resistance. All right, that was a quick one, folks. If you have any questions, again, you get us at contact@michaelmannsecurityservice.com, or you can contact me directly at 615-956-3912. And remember, folks, it is about prevention, not response.